want to register also. Joey Wheel is the name.
I'm sorry, you've only got 1 star. Your ranking is much too low to enter. He holds the rare Red Eyes Black Dragon. My master will surely be interested. I'm sorry, Joey. It appears my hard drive was malfunctioning and you actually have 4 stars. Congratulations, you qualify.
Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to Geek News Anime Night, where we take a particular series, or in this case, a particular arc, and we analyze each duel episode by episode, so to speak, and we give our thoughts on one of the most popular arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is the Battle City arc. I am, of course, your host, Adam Mickelson, aka Drac. I hope everybody's having an awesome day or night when you're listening to this, and joining me is my cavalcade of fellow geeks. But I have to point something out. I'm sorry, Alex. I don't mean to bring attention to this, but who are all the friends that you brought with all the black robes? Because they are... I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough room on the couch for them.
I didn't bring any guys with black robes on.
Then who are the guys in the black robes behind you?
I thought they were with you.
No. Okay, well,
Where's
I mean...
the popcorn?
I mean, as long as they're not expecting punch and pie, then I think we're good. And then also joining me tonight, well, he is supposed to be joining me, but Brenton has been so late for his sister's doctor's appointment that he's probably going to have to leave mid-duel in order to apologize so they can actually get the procedure done. Brenton, why the hell did you wait so long?
I don't even have an answer.
So, of course, tonight we are talking about, yes, another 1-episode duel. We are talking about Stalked by the Rare Hunters. So this is another start-up episode, basically officially starting up the Battle City tournament, or at least establishing the new tech, the new rules, etc. And so at that point, we're also going to be having a little bit of a subplot in this regarding our friend, Mr. Joseph Wheeler. I don't know why I called him Joseph, but let's just run with it. And the fact that if people don't remember from Duelist Kingdom, the reason he won all that prize money, which, by the way, he got that as 2nd place? That doesn't make sense. But he used it towards his...
I recall Yugi's the one who gave him the prize money.
I don't... Maybe that's the case. But the way I've always understood it was like he was 2nd place and he technically had the treasure card, and Yugi claimed other things, obviously, because he was freeing souls.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the case, then fine.
I'm pretty sure Yugi's the one who gave him the treasure card, the prize money, because Yugi didn't care about it. He just wanted to save his grandpa.
Of course. And so if you don't know what it went towards his sister Serenity, who is dealing with a disease of some sort. They don't really explain what, but it's eventually going to take her eyesight. And so Joey joined the Duelist Kingdom tournament in order to earn the prize money so that he could get the surgery for his dear sister Serenity. But because of that, we have a little bit of a kerfuffle on the way to the hospital for him to support her when he actually introduces all of us as viewers to the Rare Hunters. For those who don't remember, this is the organization that Merrick runs to collect rare cards. And so we will be dealing with the duel in particular, which is, this is going to be dumb to say it, but guys, he literally doesn't have a name. Joey Wheeler versus the Rare Hunter. And trust me when I say this, I even looked in the Japanese dub. He doesn't have a name. But that's okay because we'll get...
Rare Hunter.
Well, yeah, that's it. He's Rare S Hunter. That's his actual... That's his name. Or rare... I mean, shove a letter in there for a middle name. But yeah, so I checked everywhere. This guy doesn't have a name, and primarily... I'm guessing because he doesn't really show up after this, so doesn't really matter. But yeah, so we have this going on, and for the first time since we are officially in Battle City rules, we actually can establish a new segment here, which is the stakes. What are the stakes of this duel? And in this case, because of how the Battle City rules go, it is a rare card for a rare card. Now, we know that Joey puts his Red Eyes Black Dragon on the ante. We never really find out which one the rare hunter puts up, but I'll go ahead and probably tease it for you guys. It probably is the head of Exodia, the Forbidden One, because much like the anime and the manga and even the card game, the head is technically the rarest part in order to get. So at that point, that's probably what was up on the ante for Joey. But yeah, unfortunately, I hate to say this, guys, this duel doesn't last very long, and it's kind of disappointing. It's basically the Yu-Gi-Oh! Equivalent of a squash match, and the rare hunter is Brock Lesnar.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's put it this way. The rare hunter is the Undertaker.
Okay, that's a wrestling thing, I guess.
And this is, again, something that you probably won't get, but at least Brenton will. So at that point, yeah, it's basically a squash match, and poor Joey, he actually has to have additional stakes for this particular tournament. But let's go ahead and go into what were you guys' thoughts on this episode plus the duel? Granted, a lot of it is based towards Joey's storyline with Serenity, but what did you guys think of this episode? What were its positives? What were its negatives?
Oh, you're right. Go ahead, Brenton.
Oh my gosh, now I went first the last time. Please, I want you to go first.
Oh, okay. So I guess in terms of, you're right, Adam, that this is sort of a kind of a final tie-up of the whole Joey and Serenity storyline that started way back in Duels Kingdom. Perhaps a bit overdue, but it was nice to get a little closure on that. So, it's just kind of feels so indicative of like shows of this time, the whole kind of like the sibling bond.
And just a correction, it's not technically the end because Serenity will show up in Battle City.
Yeah. I guess at the end of the story, I guess the storyline of like him trying
end of the chapter, now we're going into a new chapter. Kind of
thing. It's the end of one arc to start another eventually.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Serenity, I know, does return after this.
Yes,
she'll keep.
Then we have to deal with Tristan and Duke constantly pining over her.
Of course.
Good Lord.
I really do like that. I'm kind of a sucker for storylines like these, so for that I can appreciate it.
Okay. But as far as the duel,
the duel is pretty average duel.
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah. If anything, the duel basically showcases what the rare hunters are capable of, because when you look at this character's arsenal of cards, it immediately screams like we're taking this up a notch, or up a couple of notches in terms of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
But we also got to see the startings, at least, of Joey's new deck. We won't officially go over it here, because we will do a little bit of deck analysis and how things might have changed. But unfortunately, because this duel is so short, it's hard to do that. But we do actually get to see some of Joey's new monsters walking in with his Battle City deck, which basically becomes his deck throughout the rest of the series. So you do get to see some of that, but we won't go over his deck analysis just yet. We'll wait until his first official duel, because you actually get to see a lot more cards out of it. Brinton, what did you think of this episode? What was good about it? What was bad about it?
One thing that I had written down is that it's interesting to see how integrated Merrick's men, henchmen, his lackeys, whatever we want to call them,
aka the dueling mafia. Yeah,
like how integrated they already are in Domino City. I mean, the dude who was passing out the duel discs already just like keeping an eye out for the rare
They even bribed the guy at GameStop.
I mean, it establishes that the big bad of this storyline is already so heavily integrated into what is happening that it kind of gives you this perspective of that there's a lot that's already been happening in the background, possibly even while the main characters were at Duelist Kingdom, and it's kind of just cool to, or at least for me, to put depth into this fictional story, this fictional world that, while Yugi and his friends are trying to take care of one thing, the next big bad that's waiting for them at home is already brewing trouble in the background.
Yep.
So I thought that was like a really nice touch, or at least watching it at 32 years old, you realize these things.
Which is funny because we didn't see this episode for this particular podcast, but when we have the episode where Shizu gives Obelisk to Kaiba, she kind of gives us a hinting about like the power of the rare hunters, but I'm pretty sure every viewer, especially the kids at that point, were like, yeah, sure, they're that powerful. And this is like the first indicator of, oh yeah, they are. And and their reach is vast.
Yes, exactly. I think, and then my sentiments are very much the same in regards to the duel. I mean, I knew that Joey was going to lose, but as it was progressing, I was just like, why does he exactly lose again? Because he seems to be doing like pretty good.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden this dude's like, I have 3 sets of Exodia. And it's like, is that even like legal or fair, really?
Well, we'll get into that.
Like,
we'll get into that because I have a few things to say on that, and in particular with this motherfucker. That'll give you a hint as to things I have to say about Rare Hunter.
Well, we'll go right ahead, Adam, because I have nothing else to add.
So I like this episode, for the same reasons that you guys do, in the fact that the Joey storyline kind of gets wrapped up, and we move into the next big chapter for it, which is now that he's saved Serenity, now he kind of needs to introduce Serenity to the rest of the, for lack of a better term, Heart of the Cards crew. And so at that point, having these moments is actually really good because if you remember in Duelist Kingdom, Serenity just kind of gets dropped on your lap. You're kind of just sitting there going, now granted, there's a season 0 that the US didn't get, people. So if she was in it, I don't know. I'm pretty sure she wasn't, but basically that's when we find out is, oh, I have to win the prize money for my sister who's going blind. Wait, you have a sister? And the funniest thing is in Duelist Kingdom, they're even like, you have a sister? So at that point, now we can see her. Now we can have some interactions with her. And also we can deal with the fact that Tristan is a teenage boy and he has just been introduced to the girl next door. So obviously that has to happen. In terms of the duel, I'm kind of with you guys. It actually is pretty good, but because of how quick it is, it is not necessarily like on the top of my list when it comes to the Battle City duels. But I already can tell you I have problems with this motherfucker because the Rare Hunter, or as I'm now going to call him, Rare M Hunter, which is Rare Motherfucking Hunter, this guy...
It sounds like we're just going to go through the entire alphabet for this last name.
Oh, okay, so we're going to go with Rare B Hunter, which is Rare Bitch Made Hunter.
Oh my god.
This guy. I hate this guy. And the only reason... I don't even hate this guy because of the series. Because, just curious, have either of you ever tried to play a Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game?
No.
Yes.
Okay, which one did you try to play?
I actually played the one that was based on Battle City. I loved that thing.
The worldwide tournament one that came out, the what was it? Worldwide 2000 something Stairway to the Destined Duel.
I remember it was on the Game Boy Advance.
Yes.
I played the hell out of that game. I had the most amazing deck. It was one of my most favorite games I ever played.
So I love that game too. It's also, and just to make sure that we're talking about the right one, this was the one that came preloaded with Gamma the Magnet Warrior and Valkyrian the Magna Warrior.
Oh my gosh, I loved those cards.
Yes.
Yep, we're talking about... Yep,
yeah, so this is the one.
We're on the same page.
So this was the first introduction of this guy. And frankly, he has earned a reputation throughout the rest of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, if they include the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc, because this guy will just sit. He's basically a nightmare if you allow him to draw. And that's what his deck is. It's not necessarily shown in this episode. We'll see a little bit more of it in the next one, but this guy draws like a madman. And all you have against you is like, it's a countdown, because he will draw Exodia. And if you don't kill him before he draws Exodia, you will die instantly, because as soon as he gets that final piece, the duel blacks out, you get an Exodia cinematic, and then you have to start all over again. And what's worse is, and this is why I call him a motherfucker, is that in later games, they made him harder!
Oh, no.
You can look this up on YouTube, the one draw Exodia kill.
Oh my lord.
And it's actually like, so you can get it where you can actually do it yourself as a player in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, or you can have it happen to you if you face the rare hunter. Because if he gets the right cards in the exact order that he needs them, yeah, he's going to get Exodia on the first turn. Nothing you can do about it. He's just good. Like, you are literally helpless while he assembles the Forbidden One. Especially since he has access to Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that make it a lot easier to get the pieces. And thankfully, he doesn't have them in these episodes. But this guy is a bastard, and this guy deserves to die in the next duel. All right, now that I can get off my soapbox now. This guy's a motherfucker. I've lost to him who knows how many times. And always, it is cheap shit. Like, I've literally had this guy down to 100 life points. Next draw, boom, Exodia.
Oh, damn.
This guy is insane. And that was worldwide, where he doesn't have access to a lot of those cards. In Duel Links, they fixed that. And now he's a bigger threat than he used to be. So, yeah,
Goodness.
not really a fan of this guy, as you might imagine.
I couldn't tell.
No, not at all. So let me go ahead and get into my notes here, because that's apparently been the love that everybody else has with these particular episode analyses. So first of all, roll on the floor laughing my ass off. Kaiba didn't invite Joey, but he did invite a bunch of other trash duelists.
You know, that's yes, that is very true.
You know for a fact, Kaiba personally went into the Battle City system and the ranking system in particular, and was pissed that he couldn't give Joey a -1 star. And
Oh,
nope.
for sure.
Nope. He did everything in his power to make sure Wheeler was not in this. And that's funny, considering that a lot of the other duelists in here we never see, because they're probably worse trash than Joey is.
That's too funny.
So, yeah, I just love the extent that Kaiba went to make sure that Joey never got into the Battle City tournament. And unfortunately, he didn't account for the rare hunters. So sorry, Kaiba. Good job. Good God, Joey. Joey flip-flops more than the judge and Ace Attorney. So this is in relation to the discussion he has on the roof with the other with Yugi, Taya, and Tristan, where he's like, maybe I should go see Serenity. Maybe I shouldn't go see Serenity. Maybe I should go see Serenity. And every time he's like the judge in Phoenix Wright, where it's just like, you have a point there. With everything they're saying. It's just like, do you not have a mind of your own, Mr. Wheeler? At all? So, yeah, I had to point that out. So you remember when monitors used to be big-ass boxes? I don't miss those days.
Definitely don't.
I loved it. We got basically, because we're going to a GameStop to be able to get the dual discs, and it has the classic monitor, which is just a big ass box, and it's got a swivel on it, so you can like flip things around. It's great. And I don't miss those days, because hauling those to LAN parties was horrible. So now Yugi, did you pre-order Call of Duty along with your dual disc? Because he had to go to GameStop, obviously, and they have to advertise Call of Duty or whatever's popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love the fact that they basically treated the dual disc like it was a new console. And then also, Holy shit, Kaiba's big brother! This was when we got the stars. It's just like, yes, the Kaiba Corporation has done extensive research into everybody's dueling decks to assure that this is the rarest card that you've ever played in your deck.
Because knowing Kaiba, he really has installed security cameras all over Japan, because when you're rich, you can never be too paranoid.
Not just Japan, all over the world! That's why I'm saying, holy shit, Kaiba's big brother!
Yeah, I mean,
Big Brother's always watching your deck.
Oh my, like he's the same age as Yugi
Yes!
and Joey. Like how much money does this dude have?
Kaiba is the literal embodiment of the high school age prodigy trope in anime, because not only is he like amazingly smart and all that, he just so happens to be the owner of a company that's basically, I don't even want to say like Trump or anything like that, but think of like the biggest monolithic corporation you can think of, and Kaiba Corp is that.
So Amazon.
Damn, why didn't I think of that? I work for them. So, yeah, no, you're not wrong. And so at that point, it's just like, it blows your mind. But yes, Kaiba is that embodiment of the high school prodigy, and yes, he has all the power you think he does. And then I made this joke earlier, but I have to do it again. It's official. GameStop is the mafia. Because I love the fact that as soon as they leave, and yes, he has doctored the system, because Kaiba couldn't account for that. And what actually would have been funny if Kaiba immediately got notified, somebody's messing around with your deck research system, sir. That would have been great. But no, the next thing we see, he pulls up the flip phone and goes, "We found him. Go get him." Oh my gosh. And they're not even out the door. And he's doing this. Are you telling me they didn't hear him?
I guess not.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. So there we have that. And then the other one I had was Operation Parent Trap has now commenced, because apparently somebody got the weird idea. Oh yeah, it was Tristan basically saying that this is like the first time, this would be the first time that Joey's mom and dad would be in the same area together, and assuming that they would both be at the hospital. And so maybe Joey's hoping that they'll get back together, which is funny because we actually don't see Joey's dad like ever. And this is, I think, the only time we ever see Joey's mom. Why? Because it's not, I hate to say this, but like the parents aren't really relevant. The only reason Yugi's grandpa is relevant is because he owns a game shop.
Yeah, really.
So at that point, like
with every anime, even slice of life anime has this problem where the parents are just never around for some weird reason.
Yes, I mean, like, it's one of those things where I want to applaud series like My Hero Academia that actually goes, oh, wait, yeah, there's supposed to be parents here, and actually, like, highlights the parents. But this is, like, one of those tropes where it's just like, huh. Now, granted, again, we haven't seen season 0, guys, so if I'm not getting this right, then feel free to let me know. But yeah, I don't think we see Joey's parent. We see Joey's mom. We never see Teia's parents. And we, as far as I know, we never see Tristan's parents either. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And technically, Yugi's parents aren't dead, according to the wikis. We never see them. So everybody's just basically Hey Arnold in this world, except they don't have the really high-tech bedroom. So
no, they just have the high-tech, like, oversized bracelets.
Yes. Well, I mean, you know, you got to sell toys, Brinton. You just got to sell toys. So the other one I had was, good God, those cloaks. This is Yu-Gi-Oh, not freaking Darkstalkers. Or the other thing that came to my mind with this is like, this isn't Card Captors, because I think it was the Shadow card had a similar kind of robe where it's just like, it's like all, like, it's basically skin tight at that point. Like,
yeah, I think you're not wrong. I believe that is correct about the Shadow card.
Yes,
in the Card Captain Soccer universe. Yeah.
I think it's the Shadow card because it's the one that basically looks like the Reaper. And the same thing is true for these rare hunters. So I'm also going to go ahead and do this. This is going to be something that we do in later duels, but we're going to start calling fouls. where they actually break the rules. I get why they do it. You guys get why they do it. It's for the rules of plot expedience. But we're going to point those out because it's actually going to be really fun to do because some of them are just so stupid. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when the duel started, it was set at 2,000 life points. When the Battle City rules state it's 4,000.
I did not catch that.
Oh, it gets better because continuity is a bitch. When Joey does his direct attacks, they actually treat it like Rare Hunter has 4,000 life points because that's the only way the math makes sense. I did the math myself, so I'm guessing it was a 4Kids hiccup.
Could be, or could just be writers can't do math.
Because the Japanese series uses different boxes. Like they use like this weird silver one that's kind of difficult to see the text, whereas 4Kids use those weird rainbow ones.
Right.
So at that point,
yeah, it could be a localization thing.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm guaranteeing you it probably was because maybe they just hadn't been told at that point that it was 4,000 life points from here on in. But here's where the actual foul exists. It's 8,000 life points. Not 4, not 2, 8! Although there's a reason we did 4.
I was going to say, in the card game that you can play in real life, it's 8,000 life points.
8,000.
Because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. I would go to little tournaments at a card shop on the weekends in middle school.
So, fun fact, do you want to know why they upped it to 4,000 life points?
By all means, please tell us.
Because the Battle City arc is when the card game itself was starting to introduce cards that required life points in order to use for their effects. And these cards were the rare ones. And in fact, you see a lot of them in the featured decks throughout Battle City. And so cards like Solemn Judgment, where I can't remember its actual, or the way its effect works, but basically pay half your life points in order to be able to stop a trap effect or something like that. And this is where a lot of those kinds of cards came into effect. So at that point, what they did was they moved it up to 4,000 in order to make the duels seem longer, but also incorporate these new life point spending cards. Because if they did 8, then the simplest duel would be like 4 episodes. But no, the official card game is 8,000.
Okay.
And now that I bored everybody to tears with weird rules and all that, why the fuck? Okay, why the fuck would Joey use Panther Warrior? Okay, I
don't know.
I can finally go into this beef. One of the featured cards in Joey's deck is Panther Warrior. Now, granted, it's a great monster in terms of attack power, but it's considered one of the shittiest cards in the game. Why? Because Panther Warrior can't attack. It literally can't attack unless you sacrifice a monster in order to let it attack. And if you can't do that, it immediately goes to defense mode, and it has 0 defense points. So Panther Warrior is basically useless. Even with Scapegoat, it is useless. And Joey uses it. Why does Joey use Panther Warrior?
Don't know. Good question.
It pisses me off to this day, because like now that I like look at that card, I'm like, why on earth would you do that? Because you could easily get Summon Skull for 1 sacrifice, and already Summon Skull's a way better monster. Just because it's 500 points stronger and it doesn't have to have a sacrificed monster in order to attack. So this is where I got into the rants a little bit, guys. This fucking dickbag and his graceful charity.
Graceful charity? How many times are you gonna play that card?
Uh-huh. Well, that's the funny thing, is that in current Duel Monsters, or not Duel Monsters, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game rules, you're only allowed... Actually, no, Graceful Charity's been banned. A lot of major cards that let you draw have been banned. And it's actually decks like this douchebags that they're banned. That is exactly why they're banned. Because basically you can just play the draw game until you get Exodia. In fact, you asked this earlier, Brinton. Technically, according to the Yu-Gi-Oh rules, you're only allowed to have one set of Exodia in your deck.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
But I'm guessing that hadn't been banned yet, and the rules clearly state you can have no more than 3 versions of each card. So when this episode came out, the banned list didn't exist at this point. And so now the current rules are you can only have one set of Exodia or Destiny board in your deck. That's it.
That's completely fair, yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, that's why. This dickbag in his graceful charity, he just keeps on drawing. And he gets worse in Duel Links because he gets all the draw cards. So good lord, enough with the hunt metaphors. Jiminy Christmas, this guy had a hunt metaphor for everything! Why, Joey, I think you're going to be my prey. The hunt is on.
That's more of a pun, I would say.
Like, this guy is the equivalent of Hunter dad jokes. Which I kind of like, but also got kind of annoyed of.
I mean, that's
remember in season 1 where they kept making the ghost of a chance reference? Where they kept saying, you don't have a ghost of a chance.
Oh yes, when he faced Bones.
And again when he faced the evil clown posing as Ghost Kaiba.
Well, Yugi faced him.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh no, yeah, it is actually said in that one, isn't it? Because he's technically a ghost.
Yeah, because the hair guy Chemo, he says, you don't stand a ghost of a chance because he is a ghost. Yeah, they kept saying that, so it's like, it seems kind of par of the course for Yu-Gi-Oh! To keep making these cheesy puns.
I'm thoroughly convinced that Chemo was played by the same actor that played Joey, and he's just like, what do I need to do? Just do Joey, but deeper. That's.
I'm gonna look this up now. I'm a little curious.
Mr. Kaiba, go ahead and make your move. You don't stand a ghost of a chance, Yugi. That's basically Chemo in a nutshell. Of course, I had to say this because as soon as it happens, everybody was like, what the fuck? Exodia! Obliterate!
Nope, it's Eric Stewart who plays Chemo.
Oh, god damn it. It's Kaiba? That does not work now.
Kaiba.
That does not work now. So yeah, it actually is really cool to see the exact... Now, granted, it's the exact same animation, but on a portable duel system. So, like, when we saw it before, it was huge because of the dueling holograms, but this was... now under the new dual disc system, it was actually pretty cool to see Exodia happen again. Except for Joey fans, because he's the one that got trounced. But yeah, I had to point in Exodia Obliterate, because when he shows up, you have to say it. Thank you, Dan Green. Thank you, Dan Green.
Obliterate.
Yes. And then, oh no, Joey lost his red eyes.
Oh, poor Joey.
Yeah, he got it punched out of his face.
yeah. You have to give me your card. And actually, Joey had the right idea. It's like, actually, I gotta go. Bye. And instead, no, they just beat the crap out of him and get the card. Oh, it would actually.
Yeah, that was such overkill.
That actually would have been great, just to have the little Karibo clip go. Have him do like Woody Woodpecker, and then just poof. That would have been great.
I just sat there, and I mean, freaking Joey, who could have just full on been like, okay, well, he could have just turned around and ran the other direction to begin with, to start. 2, that's actually bringing up another thing that I didn't mention before. Like, why is it that, like, no anime character ever takes, like, public transportation and they're always going down dark alleyways? And 3, even after he lost the duel, he could have turned around and been like, joke's on you, MFers, and just take off with his freaking card. But no, instead, he was being a good sport and was like, here, let me give you the card, give me a second, and they beat up the poor dude.
Of course. Because he's basically the Rocky of this series. You have to beat him down so you can see him rise up. Is ultimately the analysis that we can use here. I do think there's a logic sense as to why Joey uses the alleys, because, I mean, in the first season 0 that we never got, Tristan and Joey are basically high school punks. So they probably know all the back alleys of Domino to be able to get everywhere quick.
That's actually written in the manga because I got interested and I read the manga.
But what's funny is, and maybe you can clarify this for me, Brinson, didn't they depict them as always broke?
Yes.
Why the fuck does Tristan have a motorcycle?
Oh, my friend, I was literally gonna get to that, and you just got you.
Well, then by all means.
Oh no, I just love how after Yugi gets for some reason, like, Joey's mom, who hasn't seen Joey in 7 years, just happens to know the number to Yugi's like home.
Right,
calls him and is like, "Hey, my son I haven't seen for 7 years is nowhere to be found, and I just happen to know by some happen chance that you're his best friend.
Yeah,
what's going on?"
Like, how would you know that? Because when you left, he was still being a bully to Yugi, so they weren't friends.
Yeah.
So how would you know his
that's
phone
pretty
number?
weird.
But and then it proceeds the montage of Joey, where are you? And then Tristan just pulls up in a motorcycle, and it's like, how old are you again? Question mark.
I mean,
and then,
like, if he had a job, then I'd get it. But the way that they kind of make it look is that he bought it himself. But like I just pointed out, the way that the manga and the season 0 depict it, him and Joey are always broke. So how on earth did he get that?
Yeah, and I mean, high school students in Japan are like have to get special permission just to even have a part-time job, because going to high school is their job. So, and then probably my favorite scene of the entire episode, when Taya and Yugi for some reason are down by the shipyard, and then Tristan out of nowhere is like, "Look who I found!"
Yeah,
Boom.
exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so
And then
stupid.
And I was watching this on my lunch break at work, and so the office specialist across from me literally said that his point of view was, it was nice and quiet, and then he just hears me dying in my office.
This is why I don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh at work, because that would be me the whole time.
Just full on deceased on the floor, no heartbeat. Like, that was the most amazing thing I have ever seen.
In case people can't tell this, like, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but a lot of the reasons that I love Yu-Gi-Oh is that it's a walking trope fest, and it's hilarious. And like, whenever I need to laugh at something, usually like in the doldrum months, like January, February, Alex can attest to this. I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh because it's making me laugh.
It's a show that just really invites itself to be lampooned very easily.
Not even Pokemon does it that bad. Not even Pokemon. And Pokemon's like pretty close. I mean, at least Digimon made fun of the fact that they did it. Or at least the dub writers did.
The dub certainly did.
Yes. Yeah, I can't speak for the Japanese dub, but so I'm actually glad that you brought up this point, because it's actually the next note that I have. Wow, Serenity's being a real fucking diva about this surgery, isn't she?
I wouldn't say she's being a diva, but she's nervous for sure.
No, I get the whole nervousness thing. I actually do get that. But, well, I was nervous during my first surgery, and the doc still came and got me. They didn't have to worry about the door being locked and therefore having to wait until the door is unlocked, which happens to be when Joey comes, and she's even more mad at Joey. And yeah, I get that she was nervous, but man, this was real diva behavior.
I mean, there's a keymaster in the building at all times. They could have just called this person.
Why didn't they call the maintenance guy? Holy shit.
Like, somebody could have just walked up, unlocked the door, and it's like, "Hey, girlfriend, we're gonna sedate you."
I think even Little Karibo made fun of this. He's like, "Hey, why don't we get the janitor? He probably has a key." I'll have to go back and watch that episode again, but I think they did make that joke.
I don't remember, but they could have.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna have to go back and look it up myself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, oh, heaven forbid, we're all gonna have to look up Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I don't know what we're gonna do with ourselves except laugh on the floor extensively. because, you know, it's fun making fun of the logic here. And the last one that I have is, and this was an interesting concept, and I wonder if it was a dub flub. Why did Joey lie to Yugi about the Rare Hunter? What I mean is, Yugi asks him, did you get a name or anything like that? And he says, I got nothing. But they did call themselves Rare Hunters to him. And after they hang up the phone, Joey says, I'm going to hunt down this Rare Hunter.
I guess because Joey's got his pride and he just wants to find him himself.
That has to be the reason, because I just couldn't, like, he's your best friend, right? Why would you lie to him? Because he wants to help you. I get it. He's more popular than you, and he has the heart of the cards and literally a spirit that wins duels for him. But I'm pretty sure that he just wants to help you out, buddy. And no, he lied. I don't know why. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, that's pretty much all I have here. So, now that we've gone over the good and the bad, and frankly, a lot of the bad is the whole Joey plot line, because the parents, like, the dad doesn't show up, the mom's never seen again. Why the fuck does she know Yugi's number? And here's the thing, actually, in regards to that, I may have come up with a logical answer for it, Alex, but run with me.
Okay.
Yugi wins Duelist Kingdom. He is acknowledged as the king of games. I think it's safe to say that everybody looked up who Yugi Moto was and immediately knew that his grandfather owned a game shop. And maybe she just knew the game shop's number?
It's a stretch, but it's all we got.
It's pretty much all we've got. Because, like, I can guarantee you that they probably got some level of advertising because of that, even though, like, Solomon Moto's shop is still pretty freaking small. But I want to say, like, that's the only possible way she could have known that number, aside from plot convenience. Did she go to the museum with that stone tablet too?
Maybe she did.
Oh my gosh.
What's that down in the corner? 555.
Stop.
Oh no, Brenton, because we're going to be referencing it a lot in later episodes. So,
oh my gosh.
Oh geez, it's back. It'll be back soon. But out of 5, what would you guys rate Stalked by the Rare Hunters?
Go for it, Alex. You go first.
I'll give this one a paltry 2.5 stars.
All right. For me, I'm actually gonna go with you, Alex. 2.5 stars, because it does the proper building that it does, but it actually has a lot of logic problems to it.
Yeah.
All right, Brenton, where are you at?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we could do more, because, like, this is supposed to be Joey's new deck, and this, like, everybody wanted to see Serenity at this point, but oh geez, this episode.
Yeah, just doesn't do much.
No.
The duel's really short.
I mean, what I absolutely love is, as we gave our 5-star rating, it was just a collective So
if we can sum up our scores into a GIF, it's just the universal facepalm. Because that,
I mean the following 2 episodes will be Yugi going after it, and it's 2 episodes. So let's see if this can be a little bit more exciting.
Here's hoping, because like you just barely said, the next episode that we have is Yugi versus the Rare Hunter, or as we're calling him, Rare Motherfucking Hunter. And so at that point, this is also the point where we're going to have a lot of the duels become multi-parters. So at that point, I'm also happy to announce that we will be doing, or I will be doing, watch parties of these multi-part episodes. So you guys are more than welcome to join us on the Discord server, which you can get the link for if you join me on one of my live streams, either with Alex or also with my lovely wife, Andrea. And then you can join us and I'll give you guys notifications of when I can go live and all that stuff. And we will go ahead and just watch the episode while I take notes and just have a fun time with all of these multi-parters, because, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with these multi-parters. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. So once again, thank you, Brenton and Alex, for joining me on this episode, on recording this episode tonight, especially since I know I'm depriving you of Tears of the Kingdom time. By the way, happy Zelda Day for everybody.
Yay!
It's almost...
Did you know it's also International Nurses Day?
I did actually not know that, and I'm going to bring it up to Andrea now.
I'm going to have to bring that up with my sister.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, in case you guys can't tell, we are literally recording on the day that Tears of the Kingdom came out. I just barely got my copy like a half hour ago. And I think you said you got yours at lunch, Brenton, and Alex got his at like 2 o'clock. So at that point, I am literally tearing them away from probably what's going to be the biggest game of 2023. So I do apologize for that.
I've already put an hour into the game.
Yeah, but
1 out of, I don't know yet.
My older brother has already put in upwards of, I think, 10. Like, he's literally been playing it since, I think, 9 a.m. today. He literally took work off for it. And his kids also took the day off from school and work in order to play Tears of the Kingdom.
I must say, I was tempted to do the same, but I didn't.
I was also thinking of taking today off. However, I had people who really needed to see me, so I worked some overtime so I could come home early.
So at that point, I mean, all I'm gonna say is, if you guys want to try and do this again, just make sure your manager never hears about it. Because I've literally heard of people who basically they'll bar off the day because they know a lot of people are excited about that game.
Oh, I keep things like that completely to myself.
And that's the way you should. So let's go ahead and wrap this up so that we can get you guys back to your Tears of the Kingdom, because unfortunately I have to wait another 48 hours before I can play it. Because we're going to be doing it live for people. At least the first couple of hours we're going to do live. Then the rest is going to be family time. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us. We are very happy that you're joining us for this interesting arc that we're taking on, which is all of the Battle City duels. And also, if you guys want to check out some other podcasts that we do, once a month we do the Geek News Reviews and Opinions podcast. We just barely put up the wrap-up for March. No, it was the wrap-up for April, I think. So at that point, you have the wrap-up for last month. You can go into that. Also, you can check out the other Geek News Anime Night that we have going on, which is Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. We are officially into Season 2, so you don't need to worry about that. And also, if you want to continue to support the podcast, continue to support us on YouTube by giving us a like and a subscribe. It really does help. You can also support on Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify and Player.fm. Leave a review for those. Leave a rating. It always does help. And if you have suggestions for other things you'd like to see us review, or maybe some topics you'd like us to discuss, feel free to do so at geekyweek@gmail.com. And that'll go ahead and do it for us. So for myself, for Brenton, and for Alex, we will see you guys next time as Yugi takes a step up to the plate against Rare Motherfucking Hunters.